Hello there, everybody, and welcome back. It's episode 6 of Sithlonia. Today, we're going to see how that Tailor will finally deliver clothing to the people of this fine city. After that many years, I think everybody's already only wearing rags. We also brought up this majestic Orok pasture, which will ultimately feed the city and provide leather that we're going to use for the military and for the exports. We also went into the southern area and built our Dondorian friends a proper home into their mountain. They have their own lavatory, a nice little plaza featuring a market and a food stall, and there's plenty of room for apartments to go. So I'll be adding in new rooms while we're expanding into this fine corridor system. I think these guys serve as the very first thing for today, a speaker's place, because they are missing the news. So we're going to put the news right next to the street. I think that's just a very natural thing. So I want to get that clothes industry going, so we got a lot of things up ahead of us. We're gonna need cotton farming to get this really into something, as the weaver will allow us to really make something out of that material. As the clothes production with leather is just it's subpar. You can't do it. It's not terrible, but it's not brilliant either. So we're going to rely on that as long as we have to, but I definitely will see that upgraded as fast as I can. Talking about upgrades, it is about time to upgrade our production capacities one more time. I mean, the good news is, with the new Orok pasture, we did not only gain a steady income of leather, we also cranked up our meat income. The farming area here in the north is just in its infancy. We will see a lot of expansion here in the upcoming years. Currently, we're not even capable of baking away all the grain that we're producing. When we check back with our bakery here, it was running on 100% workload, so that workshop is absolutely working fine. It just doesn't just doesn't get all that grain baked away. So let's see, we are at a production of just a little bit than the bakery can, just a little bit more, but this doesn't seem too right, considering how much of a surplus I got by now. Anyways, it's never bad to have a surplus of grain. We probably need to see towards an upgrade in the bakeries as well. Bakery upgrades are amazing as they are really technologically cheap, and we can also upgrade to coal-fired ovens at some point later down the road. But for now, well, that upgrade would cost us some metal. We got that even, so we don't need it yet. Though we got what we need. But that is a good feeling to know that I just need to invest 250 science points and we can crank up our food production another time quite substantially. That means we got here in Sithlonia all the necessary resources to expand our city. That's good. That's really good news. So, 3 more Dondorians have moved. We're already increasing the quota in the winter of this year before our overlords have even to ask for it. So let's see. The yearly output seems to be, again, 12 pieces of Syphilon. We get in there. It's a slow and steady process. At some point later, we will have to research better technologies here. Luckily, this is also an option for us. But in case you are newish to the series, we need to output steadily more per year to satisfy the roleplay environment. I can select for myself if I am going to live side by side with the guild or if we're going to overtake them at some point. But before we are allowed to do that, we need to overtake a bit of the environment. I want to conquer Melanip. Those crazy cannibalistic tilapi are really pretty okay for me to to keep them under control. You know, somebody has to take care that they have a normal diet that is not sustaining out of terrible cruelty. And while we are governing these guys, we will take care of that. But sadly, our overlords don't believe that we are worthy of that. First, we need to build them a city, or so the story goes. Now, I'm adding in more and more Dondorians into the city as we have now a really, really good service system here. If we check out our Dondorian populace now, the last thing that was bad for them was the speakers. And yeah, they crave for a well, so hopefully we can just get that here into this little corridor here. That would be looking really nice back there. Nice well. So probably want to excavate it like that. Take away that bit too. Yeah, I think so. Okay, now then, let's speed up things a little bit. The construction of the Tailor is taking a little bit longer as the carpenters are doing what they can. I mean, they have a decent daily production. I gotta say, the city has not the terrible time with furniture. If you're playing a Cretonian city, you really suffer a lot if you don't have somebody crafting the furniture for you. Now, almost the winter is over, and it is time for the yearly Sithalon tax. Now, the good news, though, is the Dondorians from near and far want to come and see this fine Sithalon mine that even has a little bit of an outpost right next to it. I mean, if we are looking into the long-term situation here, I mean, this is a gigantic supply of Sithalon. I think the wisest thing to do would be really to build around it, like at least into this direction and a wee bit down south here. So we'd be able to access the mines from several directions, spread the services, maybe even the heavy industry into the... I think the heavier industries should be here in the northern areas. I don't know. This should be then... well, we should totally mix industries into the residential districts. Those crazy fools love it like that. So probably we won't be making all of this apartments. I probably should just be putting up a smeltery or something like that in there. Well, options. So many options. Well, let's see. I wanted to go into the decorations menu and... well, maybe not now. I recently discovered something that I didn't pay close attention to. There is a need for benches. I overlooked this a wee bit, so... we're totally going to be building up some benches at some points. Really love how this game has so many little gauges that you can crank around to make stuff happen. So, yep, it's one piece of Sithalon more that we're able to give away to our friends at the guild. So, that's good. We're keeping up with our part of the deal. There we go. So, I'm still wondering whether or not this will influence them in the long run. I have such little experience with the world building system here, so... it's one of the reasons why I started out with this series. So I'm picking up Dondorians now, as many as they want to join. I think the people of Sithlonia are more than happy to have these people coming from abroad. They don't even make any trouble, you know? They just go into the mountain and chuck out the super valuables that or overlords desire, and they're happy to have a city in the mountain. All the people in the village here have to do is to supply these crazy dwarves and Dondorians in the caves with all the things they need for living, and they can just pasture their Orok, research, and have a good life. I think so far the people here are quite happy with the cooperation between the Dondorians and the human populace. I think this is just a very, very synergistic symbiosis. So, In this year, I say there is a bit of a boomtown phenomenon. The Dondorians are coming in really larger numbers, and the fun part is they love their occupations. The more I put of these into the mine, the happier they are about that. This is a wonderful kind of a feedback loop, so we're gonna keep it up for a while. But roleplay wise, I must say, there is one really big downside about all that we're doing. The more of the Sithalon we produce, the more we need to give away. And this will create tensions in the population. Feelable tensions actually, because the Dondorians will grow happier. I mean, you already see the curve, you know? They grow happy for a year, and then bump, they go down. So there might be, at some point, even a kind of a... If I stage it right, I could even make a Sithathon revolt, basically. Damn, I love this game. Alright, but these are just tales the people tell on the marketplace, or maybe a play that somebody is thinking about to put on the stage. Who knows? We certainly don't. Another thing on my mind is that I want to consider building stone roads here. This could be really something for us. Although the stone exports are a pretty good and solid backbone of our city. Currently, our city is just really earning money by exporting rock and stone. Wood and stone. That's pretty much all that we do. The other exports are not flowing at all. This is kind of like a little bit worrying to me. But we have a fledgling city here, and I think the Tailor's done. I just noticed that. Oh, you look gross, man. Get yourself clean up, boy. So the Tailor has to grow, or will be downsized to meet the production of the pasture. So currently the pasture has some room for improvement, but by all means we can put off the auto employment, and let's just say we're starting off with that many people. Let's see, 9 humans want to join us. Perfect amount. Let's add in another handful of Dondorian people and check back with our storages. The city is working out fine. Okay, so even 6 people here are using up the leather faster than it's coming in. So a much smaller tailor would have sufficed, but I personally love to have large tailors, as we now only need to flick the gauge up and down if we increase or decrease or supply. I personally like it that way, but I just want to mention, as it has been mentioned a couple of times beneath my videos, and it's valid criticism. I would have had the tailor up and online much faster if I would have built a small shack that just hosts 6 people. Much less furniture needed, much less space needed. But since I'm playing here on the idea of building a proper city and such, I find it in that aspect not wrong. And the other thing is, yeah, I like it just gameplay-wise. I like to have a little bit of a capacity that I can fulfill, that I can grow into. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that in case you're wondering, or considering it a little bit weird that I'm doing this to myself. Anyways, so it's totally noticeable that the way we are doing it now will never ever crank out enough clothing for the entire city. It's safe to say that we're really just fulfilling the most basic needs, and it'll take years for people to replace all their clothing like that. So this is not going on like this. So let's work our way towards a cotton field. I've been looking forward to that. So a cotton farm. We're going to place that. Oh yeah, this spot looks good. Here goes. It should have a nice fertility. Is this bad? Oh God. But it doesn't really get that much better. We totally need to set up an irrigation system ASAP to increase the fertility here a wee bit, as this is really really horrible. So here we have a little bit of a... Oh, well, let's shave off a few here. That's perfect. So 20 people. We have a nice footprint like that as well. And we need to forage that from somewhere. Nah, we're just going to import that. Much easier. Let's import ourselves a kickstart for that, and we're golden. You also do notice that I feel as if this warehouse is soon going to hit its limits. 20 crates for cotton is not really overly much room. 20 crates for textiles, neither. So, yeah. I think we're going to fall back to a classic hybrid way of foraging and importing. Oh, wow. That's a small amount. Jeez. Alright, it'll take a while until this thing is cleared out, you know, that's a good amount of time for our foragers probably to get in what we need. Until then, let's check back with our consumption and production rate. I like it. Things are looking really, really good. The only thing I'm wondering is what were we spending that much money on? So where does my denarii go? Seriously. So we had inflation. Okay. I see. So money decays. You know, I've been playing this game for years now, on and off, and there's always new things that I discover that I'm absolutely sure that they were around always. I just didn't pay attention to it. Inflation, for example. Anyways, city is looking good. Let's upgrade our bakers. So we will just buy that technology here. 250 science points are not much to pay. We can also safely employ the rest of the scientists here. Heck, I might even found a new laboratory soon. And we're going to upgrade the bakery. High tech, my friends. Metal ovens. Only the best of the best. So, of course, our bakery is now consuming way more of the grain. But the real bright side here is that I can just unemploy people now and let them work somewhere else, because unlike in today's economics, we're having plenty of work for everybody to go around. And if you have no work, you're just going to be fed by the rest of the city, because we're not like that to our friends and people here in the city. So we'll need a lot of workers for the cotton farm. I hardly believe that the clothing situation is getting that much better, but yeah, there is a improvement. It's moving upwards, not downwards. So yeah, we're making good. We're making the good movement into the right direction. The Auroch pasture is also getting there, so we can increase the amount of tailors here a wee bit. And now I think it's time to expand our roads a little bit. So the road from the lavatory goes on this way. So we're going to make it slither and wind along the fields there. There we go. I'll be putting up more of these pastures, I think. Leather is a real good export material. We also can use the meat, as our populace loves it. I think it was double love, right? Dondorians and humans? No, it's just humans that love the meat, but the humans are the majority of the populace, so totally worth it. All right. So, let's check back with the mountains. The people down here, yeah, they are excited that they have their own well now. My pleasure, my men, my pleasure. So, all in all, yeah, the situation down here is really good. I think we should do one more thing, though. So, we're going to excavate a niche here. Yeah, this one. Maybe a wee bit larger. And I'm gonna put a hearth in here. You know, I bet it's gonna be cold in the mountain too from time to time. I don't know jack about mining business for real. I wonder if it's actually desirable to have a place where you can warm yourself up or not, but I don't even know how you would build an underground hearth. But since they can't do it, they can do it. No props. Say, did somebody die lately? Yeah, Yuri, you died during a brawl. There are no species that hate each other here. Yuri, rest in peace. I mean, at least he died in a very Dondorian way. Angry when and hitting somebody with a mug in the face. So yeah, I do see how much more Sithalon is already pouring into our treasury. I was for a moment wondering if we forgot a yearly payment, but then I realized no, it's just us cranking out more Sithalon than ever this year. So we have roughly doubled our output. One could imagine that among the Dondorian, the first voices might rise that they don't need to know how much Sithalon there is, you know? But no, we're not betraying or the people that enabled us to found this place. That would be rude. And we're honorable people. Deal with it. So, 19 people available. And the humans, they don't seem to be too happy now. So let's see what their issues are. There seems to be not enough food stall to go around. And I agree. We should totally have a food stall up here in the farming area. You know, probably not directly next to the lavatory because gross, but next to the hearth, a food stall. I think that would be really, really just appropriate. If it comes down to these things, I listen to the people as they really know what's best in this regard. So we're just going to put it down like that. If ever needed, we can increase the amount of services, or do we do it like that? Yeah, come on, let's make a proper one right away. No half measures. People need to be happy here too. It's not that we can cater only the needs of the Dondorians. We can't forget about the needs of the human populace as well. All right. So yeah, the treasury did re-import the expended metals directly and with no delay. Appreciate it. It's wonderful news. All right. There's a lot of new wood being generated during the removal of the forest here. That's pretty good, as it relieves me from the micromanagement of cutting new wood. We are just picking it up and exporting the hell out of it, as this will give us a good starting income. But I really need some alternatives. Luckily, we're basically already working on these alternatives. The leather that we're one day exporting will be a real good income. If we expand on this business, we're also going to be able to export livestock pretty soon as well. That's going to be pretty cool too. We're going to be probably able to export fabric as well. Let's see how that will play out. But all in all, I see a pretty bright future with the talent of the humans to do good farming and pasturing. That is a good that's just a solid foundation for the industries there that we can and will build up. Yeah. So fulfillment for clothing is steadily rising. It's a slow thing, but at least it ain't dropping anymore, you know? That's one of the most important things. So as it seems and stands, we haven't farmed up any cotton from the wilds. I have been fearing as much. So let's just go on over there and import what we need, 240 additional items. So we're just going to do one starting import to prime the production, and then we're going to disable this thing here, and that's that. So a second mad person has appeared, a second human has gone insane. So humans have really they got psychic issues, mental issues. Their mental health is way worse than than the one from all the other fantasy creatures. I checked it out. They are literally the only species that is a little bit on the not so stable side. The others are just either not as criminal as or not as going crazy that often. It's quite fun. Humans, the best. So, let's see. It'll take a while until this caravan is going to hit town. We ordered it during the winter, so let's wait until the spring comes back to Sithlonia. Spring comes back, and so does the tax. So 90% of 24, that's 22. Or, well, just jump to 25, so that's 23. I think that our neighbors should be overjoyed about the total amount of production there. It is so much more than the year before. So enjoy, my overlords. Let's see. Where do we go here? This bump is going to be more and more severe the more often I do this. I think I actually I must be really aware of this, because now that I think more closely about it, since I have to upgrade and upscale my production year by year, that means that drop will be steeper and steeper each year. Jeez, we might be sitting on a time bomb here. We better keep this mountain well kept. Otherwise, the Dondorians might go into a revolt one day. So, jokes aside, we will now put up the hearth. And I just went with a +2 worker increase for this year, as I don't want to overdo it, you know? We don't need to overstrain ourselves. There has been this mini Eldorado effect. We have had a couple of Dondorians, but I'll stretch the storytelling like that. The new Dondorians will inhabit the mind first, as this is just the most desirable place for them to be. So that means, in different words, that we will always have to increase the drops per year if we happen to bring in new Dondorians into the city. So basically, we're making it worse the more Dondorians we bring into the city. And the cotton farm is ready. Hell yeah. So, now we can and should stop the imports of cotton right away, as this is just nothing we need anymore. And the problem with the cotton industry as it is right now is that we're basically right now we just created ourselves a huge bloat of work that isn't getting us anywhere by itself. So the first thing that I'm going to install here is more export capacity. Couple of extra workers, please. Yes, sir. So we need a couple of odd jobbers on the side. So let's see. The human populace needs more market, so we're basically going to copy the market concept from this side of the city and apply it to that side of the city as well. We basically live here with a city of 3 cities, basically. We are currently hosting a central city, which is hosting the crafting, enhancing, and refining material. We have the raw material production here in the northern areas. That is just now expanding by a ton of workers more with that second farm. And we got the mountain city that is busy with the Scythalon production. So, hell yeah, we are quite a busy city here. And it's quite a nice logistical challenge. It ain't too hard, but it's really cool. So we're gonna be selling off. Let's see, how much decay do we have? 10%. So we're only going to be selling cotton as we top off or warehouse contents. It's better that way. And the other export thing is reserved for the fabric, and here it's going to be the same rule. I don't have fabric yet, but we will have soon. Not this episode, but the one after, because the next thing that I'll be doing is unlocking the weaver. I'll be already doing this episode, and we're probably are going right into the refined weaver, but one thing at a time. We're going to install the Weaver's Workshop first and work our way upwards from there. It's going to be quite a interesting challenge because the happiness levels aren't too high. The humans need some stimulation to be happy again. We'll see how that'll happen. We just probably have to wait until this bar goes down again. Either way, good point to end today's episode. I thank you for watching. It's been a really, really good time for me. We do have here quite a nice progress. The footprint of the northern part of the city is lovely to look at. We now have a heart of service rising up here. So I think there is some residential happening here soon too. Currently, we have these stragglers that still get supported by the city, but we should bring up some new homes, maybe in the curvatures of this place here. And water. Pump workers. We will do this also soon. Thanks for watching. Drop me your comments down below. See you all in the next episode. Leave a thumbs up to tell the algorithm that it should promote this video if you think so at least. And check out the subscriptions. I'd be delighted to have you there as well. And of course, in the description box, there's plenty of links to go around. Among these, the rest of the series, and my Discord server, my Twitch channel where I stream each Sunday evening, and there's also Patreon, PayPal, and Buy Me a Coffee. I'd be really happy if you'd give them a look, and a big, big thanks to all of you supporters out there. I deeply appreciate this, what you're doing for me, and a big, big thanks to you watching this video up until the very end. Also, a very, very kind gesture. You seem to like my content a lot, and I do appreciate you for that. So have a wonderful day, have a wonderful time after, and see you all next video. Bye-bye.